Hey, welcome. Thank you for joining us today. Hope you have enough coffee in your blood to stay the course of the next amazing session about balancing speed, safety, doing it through simplicity. I'm honored to stand here on stage with my fellow presenters, our great partners, JP from honeygrow, Nala from Del Taco, and Jerry from Cafe Rio. These are some of the brightest minds in restaurants operation, and they will talk to us about how they improve training, how they improve safety, and how they did it with 100% adoption across all of their sites. It's great to have them here share their knowledge so all of us can elevate what we do every day for our consumers. The reality today for all restaurants is that they're being pressured from all sides. As Courtside analyst is saying, the hourglass demand is shrinking demand for high-end restaurants, for QSRs, and anyone in between. And so everyone is competing on traffic and on conversions. However, between us, the easiest path for growth is number one, to retain our loyal customers and grow through repeatable business. Nearly 60% of demand occurs outside of our four walls through third-party services. Yet our customers and consumers are experienced across all of those touch points. And it's critical to have the same type of experience across the board, since a single bad interaction can permanently damage loyalty and repeated business. As part of the survey that we recently did, you could see that consumers are now expecting the channel and the location to deliver consistent experience across the board. And specifically with Gen Z, their response was that if they will have a bad experience, they will never return to that brand ever again. The expectation is to have the same experience across the board. And achieving excellence in everyday operations is increasingly difficult. 62% of all responded saying that the restaurants are facing labor shortage and a high employee turnover. And so effective training or training on demand when they need to, in order to deliver the operational consistency, is harder than ever before. So why is it such a big problem today after all the technology advancement that we had? Well, restaurants are overwhelmed with data. They're data rich, but they're information poor. And the idea is that teams often lack training when they need it in real time. Well, they all read the books when they join, they all seen the training, but when they need to act, they're lacking the knowledge about what to do. They all want to do the right thing. The question is what they need to do at the right time. Besides that, there's a lot of false positive alarms that create a lot of noise and reduce trust in different systems. And when we talk about systems, the IoT marketplace is very fragmented. There's a lot of different solutions out there that are disconnected and create a disconnecting operations. Just like in smart homes. If you have any smart homes, anyone here have smart homes? You see, for music, you have Sonos, you have your light application, you have your shade applications, and you have different applications. But in the business, if you have different applications, they don't speak about it among themselves. You have a disconnected operations that result in inconsistency, access to operations, and therefore customer experience is lacking. In the past, everyone was improving visibility. As a matter of fact, this morning I had a customer or a prospect that asked us if we can help him come and expand on visibilities. But visibility alone will not drive results. With visibility, you will know where are the mines, where are the issues, what are the issues, but you will not be able to solve it. In order to solve it, you need to execute better. And so visibility will just show you what's happening. Intelligence on top of that will explain why something is happening. But then the actions or prescriptive actions will drive better operational improvement. Without the ability to act on insights in real time, you're lacking that repeatable business and the excellence in the ordinary. And that's what I would like our esteemed brands to talk about today. How to achieve excellence in the ordinary through monitoring of the assets, through digitalization of task management, and through label management and printing of those safety labels. So with that, I would like to hand it over to speak about excellence in the ordinary and how you solve problems at honeygrow.
Yeah, thank you. Good afternoon. I am JP Thomas. I'm the Vice President of Operations Services at honeygrow. We are a stir-fry and salad restaurant, mostly in the Northeast and Mid-Atlantic. Create your own stir-fry, create your own salad, 100% digital ordering, whether you're ordering at our kiosk in the restaurant or on a mobile app. And we've really prided ourselves on having a really great culture in our restaurants for our employees, for our team members and our managers, and how it's really been the driving factor behind our success. But when it came to food safety, the thing that we found was we needed to make sure that whether it was food safety or anything, we were giving our teams within that culture the right tools to be successful. We wanted to make sure that we were arming them with information, that we were helping them build a culture of training and a culture of development in their restaurants. And so as we set out to look to close the gap of between the morning line check and the PM line check, not really having eyes on all of the temperatures on the line, all of the temperatures in the walk-in, and having that continuous monitoring, we set out looking for the right partner. And being transparent, we had I at another, in a past life, had a partner that, there was what I used to call alarm fatigue. We had sensors in our refrigeration units, but the alarm was constantly buzzing my phone so much that I finally just blocked the number and stopped paying attention and found that we were paying for sensors that weren't really doing anything at that point. So we were really selective when we were looking for a partner, and it was, I think, 3 or 4 years ago now at NRA that we found SmartSense. And what I've liked and what it's accomplished for us is it's easy to implement. They make it easy, and it works, which I know sounds mind-boggling that that's something I'm really happy about, but it works. And we don't have the alarm fatigue. We're really only being alerted when there is an issue, when there is a trend that is of concern, and we're being alerted much earlier than a team member or manager would have caught doing their line check or doing a manual temperature reading, because it's not just, oh, hey, your walk-in is now at a dangerous level. It usually operates at this level, and now steadily over time, it's changing, and we're able to catch an issue before it's an emergency. Whereas before, can't tell you how many times it would be a Saturday at 6 p.m. where I'm calling our facilities department, hey, can we get someone out tonight? And that's going to cost it. Or no, you can't, would be the answer. And so the biggest benefit that we've had through getting alerts at the right time, as early as possible, to catch a piece of equipment that's no longer operating the way it should, has been a huge game changer for us. I think when we started working with SmartSense, we had 30 units that were immediately flagged. It might have been a little more than that were immediately flagged as being poor. Yeah, I'm an operator at heart. I've been working in restaurants my whole career. We don't like being graded to begin with, but then to be told that we had 30 poor units, that was frightening. And over time now, though, we've gotten to a completely healthy rating for all of our refrigeration units. And when there is one that is flagged, it's new and it's early and it's still in not in the temperature danger zone. So we're able to prevent the unit from being any sort of a health hazard or food safety hazard. And I would argue, earlier Guy mentioned that if someone has a bad experience, they're not coming back, especially if it's their first visit. Having unsafe food and the experience that comes along with that is way more than just a bad guest experience. You're definitely losing that customer for life. So it's critical that we get it right. And this slide shows we went from 30 to 0, and because of that, most importantly, or second only to the guest experience, is we were able to reduce our emergency repair costs very dramatically by at least 75% by catching issues before they were emergencies and having someone come out and either replace the unit or fix the unit before the team was affected or our guests were affected. So we've had a great experience partnering with Callan and Guy at SmartSense.
So JP, how do you engage with facilities? Because they need to trust you, right, in order to prevent maintenance rather than rush to an urgency.
Yeah, we actually have it set up so that not only are the operators getting the alerts, the operations teams, the managers, the district managers, but our facilities teams gets those alerts as well. Both we work with an internal facilities team and some outsourced, and both get those alerts directly into our ticketing system. So the alert actually generates a ticket that the facilities team then gets their eyes on immediately. So roughly the same time as the operators did.
Very nice. Thank you, JP. With that, I would like to hand it over to Knala at Del Taco.
Hello, I'm Knala. I am an operations support manager with Del Taco. I've been with the company for 14 years, started in field. So we've worked really closely with our teams to identify what's going to be the best way to get results and actually make sure things are getting done. So at scale, the problem isn't defining the standards, it's executing them consistently. Operating in 17 states provides a huge variety of outcomes and habits between all the locations. And the manual paper process that we were using before SmartSense makes it difficult to see what was actually happening in our day-to-day operations for our above store leaders. We transitioned from this low visibility, disconnected paper process to a streamlined digital program with SmartSense. Tasks are structured, visible, and consistent across all locations, no matter where they are. This gives us a much clearer picture of what's actually being done within our restaurants. Not only has it created visibility at the store level to know what's going on, but also for our above store leaders, and they're able to do those deep dives and see what's going on in each of their restaurants and where they should be at the time. Execution is no longer based on the individual habits of each team and each stay under each manager. It's built into the system. It's a part of our day-to-day operations, and this is what drives consistent results for us. In the last 18 months, we have transitioned from fully paper-based operations to a digital streamlined program, and this is now giving us more than 90% completion on all of our tasks across all locations with 100% visibility, aligning with so much accountability in our stores and giving our above store leaders the tools that they need to better manage their restaurants.
Thank you. Yeah. So Knala, they say people wants to do the right thing. How about we just tell them what they should do and they will just execute?
It's right there.
So the adoption was immediate or was it over time?
At the very beginning, it was getting them to buy into the technology. Once they saw that the technology was there, it was simple as a 1, 2, 3 step, filling out a temperature log. The adoption has been phenomenal, and we're even creating ad hoc lists for simple data collections, test locations, and we had a list that we just launched with a 2-week timeline. They completed it in 7 days because their name was on that list.
Wow, amazing accountability.
Yep.
Thank you. Thank you. With that, I would like to hand it over to Jerry.
Hi, everybody. I'm Jerry. I'm with Cafe Rio. It's a small 153 restaurants. It's a 153 restaurant fast casual chain out in the Western United States. We have a few on the East Coast as well. We started in 1997. I've been there 15 years. I'm the director of training and food safety at Cafe Rio. And I listened to JP and Knala up here. I had the same problems, 10, 11, 12 years ago. We had a system based on a paper comm log that was about this thick that the restaurants had to fill out multiple temperatures and checklists every day. We had a data logger. Some of you remember those, right? A little device sitting in the walk-in. They had to pull it from the walk-in and stick it in a computer and run charts every day. And so when I took over food safety at Cafe Rio, we did an analysis and discovered, I think to no one's great surprise, that we weren't very good at either of those things. The logs were not consistently filled out. We did analysis. We had 41% of our logs accurately filled out. And very few times were the actual reports on the walk-ins run. I'm going to stand up if you don't mind there. Yeah. But and so I heard about cloud-based logging from one of my consultants, and I thought, well, what the heck is that? And 10 years ago, I came to this show to find a company that could do that. I found 3, and I ended up with Jolt, which is now part of SmartSense. And it changed my life. My vision was that I could sit down in my saddle, and I could push a button, and I could find out if 463 did their logging accurately yesterday. I could run reports, I could give feedback, and today, 10 years later, we're at 95%, so the same kind of thing you're experiencing. That's my story with how I ended up with Jolt, and which eventually became SmartSense. But what I wanted to talk about specifically was one component of Jolt. So we started with the logging, which was breathtakingly simple, and we got great execution. We went to walk-in monitoring, which saved us. We went from losing 24 walk-ins in food a year down to none, because we get accurate reports and we get facilities in part, right? But what I wanted to share with you was something that was the sleeper hit, which came after all that, which was Jolt presented to me a system of on-demand labeling. On-demand labeling is a simple machine, they have it over there, where you can create any labels you want from my saddle, right, in front of my dashboard, for any restaurant I want, and for anything you want. Nutrition labels, time-based labels. We use time as a public health control, so far our labels. So every time somebody brings food up front, they click a button and instantaneously they get a label for that item. And we based all of our food safety holding systems on that, and we went from writing labels for 2 to 3 hours a day of manual labels to taking just seconds for every label. And the way we figured it out is we added all up 3 or 4 hours a day of just manually writing labels for all of these restaurants. We actually save in labor, if we chose to save the hours, about 12 grand in a store, just from people writing the labels. And we didn't take that money and save it. We deployed it against things like cleanliness, other food safety activities, customer service, customer-facing positions. So it was a game changer for us. And we went from 100% manual labels down to this instantaneous label machine. And I encourage you to go over and see it, because out of the 3 things we did is the single most popular item in our restaurants. If I have a label machine that for one moment is not working, it's like the world is ending in that restaurant, and we get calls and very quickly resolve it. It's really amazing. So I wanted to tell you that saved us money and time. It helped us increase our efficiency with food safety and made everything a lot easier to monitor from my little saddle in front of my computer, working with now 153 restaurants.
Thank you, Jerry. Yeah, and did you see that you can put also the images now?
That was new to me, so I got very excited when I saw that.
Yes. So the key takeaway is that, there's no single playbook. Clarity, discipline, and execution through digitalization of the workflow in order to create excellence in the ordinary. So every franchisee or every store behave the same. And think about it today, the new generation, like my daughters, they just take it for granted that every place that they will order a coffee from Starbucks will taste the same. Every place that they will order a taco, a Del Taco, it will taste the same. It's a given. And that's the liquidation of demand from different things that you are aware. You expect it from all the other restaurants today. And you can only do it through digitalization and create that excellence in the ordinary. So think about a question that you may have for the audience for the next 5 minutes. I have a few questions as well, but please come by. Our booth is just across the aisle here. We also have happy hours with our customers at 5:30 to 8:30 tonight as well. So come join us, ask the questions. You can try the labels, try the sensors, and see how it works for you. So think about a Q&A. I think we have a microphone in the audience for any questions. But meanwhile, from an adoption perspective, Knala was talking about the fact that technology enables that adoption, because technology doesn't just solve it. Technology plus process plus people generate that value. So JP, today when you have a new facility, how easy it is to get them to actually trust the process with, with the sensors and the workflow and all the process? How is that going on today with new facilities?
The benefit is that it works, right? What I've seen with our team in technology or any tool is if they go to use it and it consistently works and it consistently makes their life better, the adoption, it's easy, it's seamless. We don't struggle with it at all. When they have a system that habitually breaks down or stops working or is glitchy, they're very quick to be like, nah, I don't have time for that. I'm grabbing my clipboard, my paper and pen. I'm going to start writing temps down again. And we honestly haven't experienced that because it's very consistent and reliable and is genuinely making their life better than before they had it. So we've been lucky that adoption's been built in.
With a high turnover, with a new generation that, I didn't read the manuals of my iPhone before I used it, right? And so how is it with the new generation of the new hires, Knala, that do you force them to see any short videos or any manuals to read?
So we have a short training video. It's about 5 minutes long that gives them a little quick drill down of how to use it, how to add a list and everything. But our newer generation hasn't even needed that. This app is so intuitive and easy to use. You have a hamburger menu on one side that tells you exactly where you need to go, and the tasks on one side that are as simple as input this number. If you have that Bluetooth thermometer, they're just sticking it in and it's automatically loading into the app for you. It takes off all the brain work and they're not having questions. Adding users, removing users, everything is just one click away.
Any question meanwhile in the audience, please raise your hand and we'll have the mic ready for you. Jerry, anything you want to add from technology people and adoption perspective?
We were talking about it earlier that there is a generational difference, right? Folks that are older in our restaurants struggle more with technology than people that are young. We haven't had any of those issues using this software. It's pretty intuitive. We use an iPad for everything and a digital probe, right? And it's, people understand it right away. So there hasn't been any issue with that. I think that the thing I've been most pleased with though, I will tell you any change is hard at first, right? We went from a paper-based system to a digital, and that was hard for people at first because it's different. Oh my gosh, it's not red, it's blue. That's just kind of the way it is. Once we got through that, people couldn't imagine doing this any other way. It's pretty impressive how it works.
Yeah, and so I don't know if you read the press release, but we just came out with a new audit capabilities from feedback from you. They're called Assure. And the audit capabilities is actually feeding back into the task force any failed audit, right? So if the auditor comes in and see that, wow, the restroom was not as clean as it should, well, it will add immediately another midday check for all of your people as part of the task list. Any one of you have seen the
I've seen
Assure?
the capability of it.
Yeah.
We haven't used it yet, but I'm very excited about it.
We use critical actions where it requires them to immediately have an actionable item to go ahead and fix that issue. It's going to give them a checklist of what was wrong, what did I do to troubleshoot it, and did it correct itself?
Any questions in the audience? Yes, there's one there.
Thank you very much. For a current Jolt user to leverage these new technology, what do we need to have?
Just stop by at the booth and see the capability. You don't need to have anything. It's all, if you already bought it from Jolt and implement it, you just get the new versions and you continue, no additional cost.
Great, thank you.
So thank you. Thank you for being amazing. Thank you for coming and joining us today.